Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Hello and welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Thank you for joining us as you do each and every day throughout your work week on Comcast Channel 15 and on AT&T Channel 99. For you cable subscribers. You can also find us online every day on our website on civiccentertv.com. Click on our Watch Live link or just unmute that small player at the top right of your homepage on our website as you explore all of our other original programming from throughout the week and take a look at our programming schedule to find out when your favorite shows and your meetings of choice are replaying all throughout the day. You can also join us on Facebook on facebook.com/CivicCenterTV15 as well as on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. The best way to find us, I would say, on YouTube is to search just simply Greater West Bloomfield Civic Center TV, and you'll see our green logo pop up for an option with one of the channels, and see all of our live videos each and every day with the Splash live video of West Bloomfield football and all your other favorite original programs on archive for you on youtube.com/CivicCenterTV. In addition, you can also find us on the radio every single day as you're driving throughout the community. Listen to your favorite programs from your hometown on the road on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com as we're off to a sunny start to our Friday. It's been already a sunny day, and Diane, looks like it's going to continue to be a very nice weekend as well.
That is true, Tyler. We're starting off with a cloudy Friday morning with the highs of 77 and lows of 58. It's gonna get a little bit more sunny as we go throughout the day. And Saturday, partly cloudy skies, highs of 76 and lows of 56 through the evening. Some clouds in the evening, but nevertheless beautiful, warm still weather will still accompany us on Sunday with highs of 69 on Sunday and lows of 58 as we go into the evening. Beautiful, beautiful weekend coming ahead. A lot of sunshine, a lot of warm weather, and a beautiful chilly evening, great for walks.
Yeah, and it's going to be a beautiful evening, too, for high school football at West Bloomfield High School. The homecoming game tonight against Rochester Adams, but a whole lot of fun festivities coming up on Friday at West Bloomfield High School. That's our top story today. It's homecoming day. Lyle, the West Bloomfield High School mascot, will be on site and at the Swamp tonight and also be playing a key role, as always, in the homecoming parade. I'll have plenty more information about fun stuff happening at the high school tonight for homecoming, including the parade and some special events happening right before kickoff at tonight's West Bloomfield football game. Orchard Lake Road construction is making progress. We drove through the area yesterday on the way to some other productions in the community. We'll give you the latest update on that construction across Orchard Lake Road from just after Commerce all the way down to Middle Belt in just a little bit. Today is the beginning of two days of West Bloomfield household hazardous waste disposal events at West Bloomfield Town Hall for residents of all of the four communities. We'll give you the details on how you can participate and what is being accepted at this particular event. The Southeast Michigan Council of Governments recognized the West Bloomfield Trails as they continued through their promotion of Michigan Trails Week. We'll give you more information on that later on in the program. The Keiko Harbor Police Department also receiving a small gift of appreciation from the community, but having a big impact, saying their thank you to the Keiko Harbor Police Department earlier on this week. Later on, Joanie Toole from the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center will talk to Dayan Chaaban about the challenges that they're facing and how people can help them and help the animals in the process. The West Bloomfield Police Department is searching for the owner of a lost canoe. We'll tell you how that canoe got lost, how it got found, and how you can get in contact with the police department if you're missing your canoe. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce has a really cool event coming up next week, Wednesday. Registration is closed for it, but we'll give you details on how you can still participate from the comfort of your own home. Plus, Art Sale is coming to the Oakland County Farmers Market in October. We'll tell you when in October they will be there and how you can enjoy some of our local artists and their creations at the Oakland County Farmers Market. Plenty of more news and information from your community coming up. We got plenty to get to on today's edition of the program. So we'll take a short break and then more of your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets coming up next on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. You can also join us on the radio all throughout the day as you're driving about our community, going to and from work, picking your kids up or dropping them off at school, or just traveling through the community on this beautiful Friday in Greater West Bloomfield. And taking in all the news and information you need to know about what's going on in your hometown today and over the weekend. It all starts tonight at West Bloomfield High School. It's homecoming night at West Bloomfield, and so we'll see not only students from today, but students from the past also returning to the high school tonight to celebrate their classes, to walk down memory lane and enjoy the festivities at West Bloomfield High School. Lyle will be there, the mascot, as you can see on your screen on CivicCenterTV.com and on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV during the homecoming parade. That begins at Prince of Peace Church on Walnut Lake and Green Road at 5:30 p.m. That will travel down Green Road, so expect some delays if you need to go down Green Road to get to your neighborhood or take alternative routes in order to get back home today during that period of the day if you're traveling throughout the community, because the homecoming parade won't take very long, maybe a half hour down Green Road, straight to West Bloomfield High School, across the street into the parking lot, and that's when all the pregame festivities will begin. The kickoff for tonight's game against the Rochester Adams Highlanders, a team that West Bloomfield has had some trouble with over the last few seasons. 3 consecutive losses to legendary head coach Tony Petrito and the Rochester Adams Highlanders, and maybe some good luck on the field tonight. A good luck charm will be on site at tonight's game. Ron Bellamy, longtime head coach of the West Bloomfield Lakers, a legendary coach at West Bloomfield who won a state championship with the Lakers during the COVID season a few years ago, will finally be able to come back to WB tonight to be honored, and as he'll be inducted into the West Bloomfield High School Coaches Hall of Fame after NCAA regulations that barred him from returning to West Bloomfield High School and making contact with the high school over the last several years have now expired, and he did get approval from the University of Michigan, his current employer, to return to West Bloomfield tonight in order to be honored. He'll be honored about 10 minutes before kickoff, around 6:50 per the information we've received from the athletics department at West Bloomfield High School. In addition, this guy, Brandon Davis-Swain, you see him with Coach Prime. It's Brandon Davis-Swain who will be also receiving an honor tonight, not Coach Prime. Brandon will be receiving his Under Armour All-American jersey, the second consecutive year we've had a West Bloomfield Laker receive this honor before kickoff at a West Bloomfield High School game. Last year, it was University of Michigan offensive lineman Amir Herring, one of the best offensive linemen, if not the best offensive lineman in the history of the Lakers program, and now arguably the best on the defensive line in Brandon Davis-Swain will be receiving his jersey as well. That was something that they just found out yesterday at West Bloomfield, so a little pleasant surprise to end the week. Brandon Davis-Swain will be receiving his Under Armour All-American jersey. Ron Bellamy will go into the memory wall at West Bloomfield High School as one of their coaches in their Coaches Hall of Fame, joining the likes of Pat Watson, former principal and baseball coach, and so many others who have done legendary work coaching great teams at West Bloomfield High School. And Ron Bellamy was paramount in the rebuilding of the West Bloomfield Lakers football program, building them into a state power, and will receive his long overdue thank you tonight at West Bloomfield High School. Our live coverage of West Bloomfield Laker football will begin at 6 o'clock with This Week in Laker Football, reviewing last week's game at Lake Orion and previewing tonight's matchup against the Rochester Adams Highlanders. The Laker pregame show starts at 6:30 tonight, and then we'll have a live coverage of Coach Bellamy going into the Coaches Hall of Fame at about 6:50, plus Brandon Davis-Swain receiving his Under Armour All-American jersey before kickoff at 7 o'clock as the Lakers try to break a 3-game, 2-season-long losing streak to Tony Petrito's Rochester Adams Highlanders. A really fun night ahead at West Bloomfield High School, and we hope that you tune in. Good news for those in the Lakes area and the Tri-Cities. The Orchard Lake Road construction is nearing its close. It's in some of the final phases, with Mayor Rob Kalman of Keego Harbor saying that word from the Road Commission for Oakland County is that they are still expecting that construction to be complete sometime in early November. Now, the good news with Orchard Lake Road is it's not been a one-way street for the last couple of weeks. It's now going in both directions, but just one lane each way. We drove through there yesterday, our team at Civic Center TV, Jared Clark, Daryl Sanders, and I, out and about getting ready for a Keego Harbor meeting yesterday for their city council, and it was a pretty smooth ride. It's a little bit weird because as you can see in this image on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV, and on your screen on civiccentertv.com. One lane in each direction with the double yellow line in the middle. So you're in pretty close proximity to the traffic going in the opposite direction, but still at a safe enough distance to where it doesn't feel uncomfortable. That being said, midday traffic yesterday around 2 p.m. wasn't all that bad in the Keego Harbor area, nor was it around 8 o'clock at night when we were heading back over to Keego Harbor City Hall. And so this is a much better situation than it's been in weeks past and certainly in months past in Keego Harbor. That being said, still frustration, obviously, with the construction obstructing some entrances and exits from businesses. So we continue to encourage you to provide your patronage to those businesses, as Dayan, these construction times can be really tough for these businesses, but people still able to comfortably, in some ways and others, get to those local businesses and provide them with the customers that they still need at this time.
Tyler, yeah, I think it is essential that people support businesses in our community, whether there is road construction or not. But nevertheless, people should know that these road constructions are happening for our good. These roads are going to be so much better, and we're going to have better, smoother rides, safer roads. So bear with the Oakland County's reconstruction project, and try again to support these businesses that are being obstructed by these construction projects. And as you said, Tyler, something about driving in the opposite direction. Make sure that you are safe as well. Make sure that you drive a little bit slower in construction zones. Try to get out the house earlier. Try to plan for your trips if you are going into a construction zone area. So it's all good. It's gonna get better, and sooner or later these construction is gonna be done, and we are gonna have better roads. These businesses are gonna get there. We can get there easier. So just bear with us a little bit. Bear with them.
Yeah, it will be a lot easier to make those left-hand turns off of Orchard Lake Road to go into some of these businesses too when this construction is being done based on the final plans and how that's all shaking out. So hopefully next few weeks maybe a little bit over a month left to wait in Keegle Harbor and in Sylvan Lake for this construction to be complete. And of course, you can keep up to date on more information by going to the Road Commission for Oakland County's website in order to learn more and keep up to date on construction progress. Across town in West Bloomfield Township, open to both West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities this weekend, is their Household Hazardous Waste Collection event. This is where they permit residents from the 4 communities to come in and bring some materials from inside their homes that may be no longer necessary or could potentially be harmful if they're tampered with, or if you come in contact with them after a certain period of time, or are just very dangerous to dispose of in the traditional trash that you get picked up each and every week. It begins tonight, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. At West Bloomfield Town Hall. Household hazardous waste for seniors today. Senior citizens in West Bloomfield, Keegle Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake can bring their toxic chemicals, cleaning products, old batteries, electronics, fire extinguishers, and the like to West Bloomfield Town Hall and have those disposed of by expert vendors who West Bloomfield has partnered with for this event, as they do twice every year. This is the final household hazardous waste event of 2023. Then on Saturday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, the rest of the community, any resident, including seniors, can also come to West Bloomfield Town Hall to drop off their hazardous waste as well. Again, this is only open to residents of West Bloomfield Township, Keegle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake Village, not to neighbors, not to friends, not to people nearby, just residents of those 4 communities. In the past, there have been shredding services for documents at these events. That's not going to happen this year. They do have a separate event specifically for shredding services that will be happening in October and open to these communities. But if you have old medications, also Operation Medicine Cabinet through the West Bloomfield Township Police Department will be available at this event. Again, drop-off day for seniors today, 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. at West Bloomfield Town Hall. And for all other residents, it's 9 a.m. until 12 noon on Saturday, September 23rd. West Bloomfield Town Hall, 4550 Walnut Lake Road in West Bloomfield. For more information, you can contact the West Bloomfield Township Development Services Department at 248-451-4818. 248-451-4818. Or visit wbtownship.org. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, recognizing our West Bloomfield Township Trail, as well as the Keegle Harbor Police Department getting a special recognition from some residents and locals showing their appreciation for our men and women in blue in the heart of the lakes. More of your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets coming up on the Splash Live.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We also thank you for joining us today on our Facebook page, as always, at Civic Center TV 15, a great page to give a like and follow along with us all throughout the year. Find the latest information on fun things happening in your community. Our special broadcast will have information on our Laker football broadcast. And if you missed any editions of the Splash Live, we also post links to all of our full programs as well as our individual segments each and every day. A great way to follow along with everything happening in the 4 communities here in the greater West Bloomfield area. You can also do the same on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. A great place to go out during this weekend with the weather outside being very nice and very fall-like, as tomorrow, Saturday, is the beginning officially of autumn in Michigan and across this hemisphere. SEMCOG posted for its hashtag Trail Thursday post yesterday, the penultimate weekday of Michigan Trails Week, encouraging people to begin their adventure on Michigan's trails on the West Bloomfield Trail, a miles-long trail all throughout our community that connects to trails in nearby areas as well, such as Commerce, and on the other side into Pontiac as well. A great place to go out and walk your dog, or go out and go for a nice stroll yourself and enjoy the foliage and the color changing and animal life on the trail. If you go a little bit past Orchard Lake Road, just before the Arrowhead Trail site, you'll have a great lookout that you can see some of the cranes out in the wetlands in West Bloomfield Township. A great place to explore some nature. You got a little bit of a nature trail that goes off the beaten path at the Arrowhead Trail as well, to explore even more of our local nature. Take a little detour on your trail walk. A great place to enjoy the fall outside in Michigan on our West Bloomfield Trail, one of our favorite parks in our local area. It's operated by West Bloomfield Parks. They do a great job keeping this up, and it's one of the best places to go out and enjoy the great outdoors in West Bloomfield while still staying close to everything that's happening in our 4 communities. And this stretches through all 4 of our communities. West Bloomfield Township ventures a little bit into Orchard Lake Village and Keagle Harbor, and then on to Sylvan Lake before going further into Pontiac, the old Rails to Trails Trail in West Bloomfield Township. Diane, you saw from those pictures, this time of the year, arguably the best time to enjoy the West Bloomfield Trail.
That is true, Tyler. You can also see those colors changing. These are beautiful. We do have beautiful fall in Michigan. You can see those trees turning into red and orange. That's a beautiful, beautiful scenery. A beautiful trail too, Tyler. I can see, I've never been to the West Bloomfield Trail, but it looks like it's marvelous. I hope that people go out there. As for me, as a dog parent, I would love to go out there, especially now that the weather is getting so much better. It's kind of cooler, which is better for a walking or a trail walking or a trail run or even biking on these beautiful trails and just enjoying the scenery. A nice hoodie and some partly clouds will just do it.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to go out for a walk, enjoy some nature. Hey, even if you just walk a little ways, maybe bring a book with you and sit on some of the benches and just enjoy a good read out in nature. A great place to do that. Plenty of people have done that. I've done that before when I was still living in West Bloomfield years ago with my family. And so it's a great place to go out and enjoy the great outdoors in West Bloomfield. And what better way to celebrate Michigan Trails Week as it comes to a close on Sunday than by enjoying it on the West Bloomfield Trail. Hey, maybe even walk down into Keagle Harbor, and as you're enjoying the heart of the lakes and you see some of our police officers out and about, give them a thank you, as some locals did earlier on this week, dropping off a really nice and unique piece of art to be displayed at Keagle Harbor City Hall at the Keagle Harbor Police Department. I actually saw this on their desk yesterday. I have it displayed front and center at their desk at City Hall. It is a wooden Michigan-shaped art piece that has an American flag sort of fixture on it with black lines, wooden background for what would normally be in the American flag, white lines. It's got stars on the upper west part of the lower peninsula and a blue line across mid-Michigan to indicate the police department. And so that would end up being what's displayed at the Keagle Harbor Police Department right now. A really nice piece. And they posted about this on Facebook, saying, quote, "The police department received a nice gift from 3 of our friends, Kaylee, Justin, and Bobby. They picked up this cool Michigan-shaped wood carving to give to us. It's just a nice display piece, and you can see it at the front desk if you stop by the department. They signed the back with the message saying, 'Thank you for all you guys do for our city. We appreciate you all.'"
I love the mitten shape. I love how Michigan is shaped. It just looks so the mitten shape. I love it. when I first came here, as I've been in Michigan for like 2 years right now, I've never known why they called it the Mitten State until I recently knew that it is shaped just like a mitten, which is something really, really cute in my opinion. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I love it. I love the art piece. And again, of course, it's a great way to show appreciation to our police department in Keego Harbor and everywhere.
Yeah, a really nice piece. It stands out right away when you go to their front desk and take a look at it. So if you happen to need to stop by the Keego Harbor Police Department or just stopping by to say hi and admire this piece, a great place to do that at the Keego Harbor Police Department. They do a great job in that small city. You know, you don't think about a small town and think that they have a lot of police work to do, but they're always on patrol. And what they do, and we've seen these pictures, we've reported on it over the last few weeks, is they do a great job of getting out in the community and getting to know the residents. Many of the residents have gotten to know the officers that patrol their local area and vice versa, and that creates a really good dynamic between our local law enforcement and our residents. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, plenty of more stories to get to. We'll talk about some challenges being faced by the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center and how you can help them in their mission going forward. Plus, later on, the West Bloomfield Police are searching for the owner of a lost canoe. A really interesting story, kind of an odd story that you'll definitely want to stay tuned with us to hear more about later on in the program. More of your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets coming up next on the Splash Live.
And now, we'll be right back with the Splash Live.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So, in recent statistics have shown that animal shelters across the United States are facing a growing challenge. There's an influx of animals that are coming into the shelter versus the number that are going out into adoptions or fosters. These shelters are now stretched to their limits, and they are grappling with limited human and financial resources. So all these challenges that these shelters are facing are making it very difficult for these shelters to take care or provide for these animals that are going into the shelter. Today we have Joanie Toole from the Oakland County Animal Shelter to tell us all about these challenges and how can we as community members and residents help them out. Joanie, thank you for joining us today on the Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
So, Joanie, as I said earlier, America's facing a challenge. A lot of numbers of dogs and cats and other animals are going into the shelter versus the number that are going out. Whether some of them are economic challenges, people are facing some negative economic challenges because of the inflation, or I don't know what it is, but this is what the statistics are showing. And I don't think that Oakland County Animal Shelter is any different than all the other shelters. So can you please tell us a little bit more about all these challenges that you are facing here in Oakland County's Animal Shelter?
Yes, it's been very difficult. We have been at near capacity, at least for dogs, for the past 6 months. We have noticed this trend. I don't, like you said, we don't really know where it's coming from. Maybe during the pandemic, everybody got an animal and now they're all back to work and it doesn't really fit into their lifestyle. But when we do adopt out animals, we do try to stress to adopters that this is for the life of the animal. They're not disposable. They should become part of your family. But it really has taxed us here at the shelter. And here at Oakland County, we do a lot more than most shelters. We have our own vet clinic. So everything is spayed and neutered before it leaves. We do all the medical, all the vaccinations, we run tests. It's just been very hard for us to kind of keep our head above water with all these animals coming in. And then we have people who are looking to get rid of their animal, and we're having to turn them away because we just don't have the space. We put them on a waiting list, but our waiting list is like 6 months out. We give them other resources, but everybody's in the same boat. Every rescue, every shelter in Michigan, even across the United States. I don't know what it's going to take to turn the ship around, but thinking out of the box, I think, is probably going to be one of our ways to do it.
Joanie, that is true. I mean, going back to what you said about the COVID, at some point during COVID-19, during the pandemic, we saw some pictures of empty shelters, and we were very happy to see that. As an animal lover, I was personally very happy to see that. And then it was reported that after the pandemic ended in 2021, these animal shelters began to fill up again. So as you mentioned earlier, this might be a problem, people going back to work or again, facing some economic challenges. One thing that you mentioned and that is mentioned on the Oakland County Animal Shelter's website is that you provide educational programs for proper animal ownership, if I must say. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but proper animal...
Responsible pet ownership.
So can you please tell us a little bit about... Thank you for correcting me. Can you please tell us a little bit more about what do you mean by responsible pet ownership for the people to know and for people who are wishing to adopt or get an animal into their family?
Sure. Well, it starts off with, if you are looking to adopt an animal, what you really need to do is do some research. I know we're all very visual and we like what we like. If I'm a couch potato, a husky's not probably going to be the dog for me. They're very high energy. They need a lot of attention. They need a lot of grooming. So you really need to do your research before you just go out on a whim and adopt an animal. So what we also teach is that your dog should not be running loose. You need to keep your pet home any way that you can. A lot of people use the electric fences. Sometimes those work, sometimes they don't. If an animal really is in that prey drive, if they see a rabbit or a squirrel across the street, they will breach that fence, but then they won't go back because they know they're going to get shocked. So that is one of the things when you do use those electric fences. We also insist that your pet get vet care every year. And that means running tests for heartworm disease, fleas, ticks, getting up to date on their vaccinations. And then, of course, they need to be licensed every year. At the age of 4 months, every dog in the state of Michigan needs to be licensed through your county shelter or through your city animal control. So those are just some of the things. Oh, and most importantly, get your dogs spayed, or neutered. Very important. We see so many homeless animals every year. We really don't want to see any more. And I know some people think that it's important for if they have a family and they have kids that, oh, we should probably let the cat have a litter of kittens. It's, the kids can learn and we really don't need that. So please spay and neuter your pet. And another thing that is kind of exasperating this whole issue is that veterinarians, it's very hard to get in to see a veterinarian. And even if you do get in to see a veterinarian, it can be very costly. You have to take that into consideration too when you're going to adopt an animal, the cost of it, the time of it, the training. So those are all things that you really need to think about before getting a pet. So we try to teach that to everybody. It's just not something that you want to do on a whim, and you want to research your breeds, because something that you see that you like may not fit into your lifestyle.
That can't be any more true, Joanie. I'm seeing a lot of, especially Malinois, Belgian Shepherds, as they call them here, in being surrendered to shelters. A very, very huge amount of Malinois. It's because they are working dogs, and they're very high drive. They're very energetic. They're not for everybody, and people usually like dogs based on how they look. Like, oh, I like a German Shepherd. Oh, I like a Malinois, so I'll get one. But again, as you said, researching the breed is very important, I think microchipping also helps. Am I correct, Joanie? Microchipping
Yes.
and registering your pet in the registry, in the pet finder registry.
Yes. And another note on that one is please keep that information up to date. We do see, we're seeing an increase in animals coming in strayed that do have microchips. But a lot of the time, information is not kept up to date, which makes it even harder for us to find you and get your pet back to you.
Joanie, can you please just tell us very briefly how and where we can register our microchips and our information?
Well, it begins with wherever you're getting it. Now, we are having free, I say free, you buy the dog license. This is every Tuesday from 9 until 2 here at the shelter. You can get a free vaccination if you buy the dog license, and we're also offering the microchipping for free as well. So when your pet gets microchipped, they're going to hand you some paperwork, and there's different chips. We use Home Again. There's other chips. We also have a universal scanner that scans them all. That's very important for shelters to have that. But once you get that paperwork, go on the website, make sure your information is up to date. If you move, you need to remember, or if you get a new phone, you need to remember to go back on that website and update your information with that chip company.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all this information, Joanie. Very helpful information to maintain and keep your pets safe, just in case, God forbid, they got lost. Then they will be able to find their way back home quickly back to you. Joanie, as we said earlier, there is financial constraints that comes with having an influx of animals in these shelters. Can you please, and you do need volunteers. You cannot pay a lot of people to come and work, but you do need a lot of people to come and help you with the dogs. Can you please tell us how people can help, how residents or Oakland community members can help volunteer for the shelter, and what are some volunteer opportunities available?
Sure. Yes, it definitely takes the community to help out the animal shelter. We have dog walkers, we have cat comforters, we have people that don't even touch the animals. They'll come in and do enrichment, and that means making treats, making beds for the cats. And then we also have a wonderful program. It's a reading program. So if your youngster is having trouble reading, they say that reading to an animal can help because the animal doesn't judge, the animal doesn't correct, but they're there to listen. So we do have youngsters that come in and read to our cats, read to our dogs. And then we also had a special, a school came in, a band, and they played music for the animals. That was awesome. So there are different ways to help. even thinking out of the box. If you come up with an idea that you think is special and that would help the animals, by all means contact us. But if you just want to walk a dog, you can do that. If you just want to go spend time with a cat, you can do that. It's very relaxing to sit in our kitty city and just watch the cats play and then interact with you. So yes, please volunteer. It's very important to us and to the animals.
And for whoever's volunteering, the studies have a lot of studies show that interacting with animals, or even as you said, reading, like kids reading to an animal, shows a lot of educational improvement and literacy improvement for our children and for our people. For me personally, it makes me so happy just seeing all these puppies and all these dogs, or even kittens. Yes. So it's a great way to volunteer. Mental health wise, you're also helping those animals survive and helping this shelter also stay up on its feet. Joanie, other than volunteering at the shelter, are there any other ways community members can help the shelter?
Well, we do have a foster program as well. I know during the pandemic that went crazy and everybody got animals out. Everybody's kind of back to work. But I mean, if you wanted to just take an animal out, we call it a pajama party. You can take it overnight or you can take it over the weekend. It gives us a chance to get to know that animal and how they're going to react in a home setting. And believe it or not, that's a very good way to get that animal adopted out, because we can fit that with a certain family. And then we know that adoption is not going to fail. So you can also foster.
That's also, fostering is a great way. Also, we must remind people that donations are very necessary to animal welfare. Wherever you live, try to donate. Even a little amount can make a difference for these animals. Joanie, thank you so much for the tips. One final question I would like to ask you is, we do understand that a lot of people are facing some economic hardships, and that is a reason why they are surrendering their pets, because they assume they cannot find any resources or veterinary care, etc. Can you please tell us if there are any resources? We did have you on our show before, I think a couple months ago, and you talked about the free vaccination event. Can you please tell us if there are more resources like that, and what Oakland County Animal Shelter how can it help, or if can it help keep those pets at their owner's house?
Sure. And that's very important, especially when we get a call that someone needs to give up their pet. You know, we want to help them in any way, shape, or form that we can. So we do have resources here that we can recommend to them. So very important. If you are facing a hardship with your animal, please give your local animal shelter a call. Reach out to them. They will have resources to help you. Low cost vet care, or a food bank. And like you said, even what we're doing, the free vaccination if you buy a dog license. So please just reach out and see what the resources are out there, because we can direct you so that you can keep your pet and not have to give it up because of financial issues.
Joanie, can you give us your final words on what can volunteers expect and how promising it is, how wonderful of an experience it is to volunteer at an animal shelter, based on any volunteer you talk to?
It's just a wonderful thing. I mean, you come in, you would think that animals love to be at the animal shelter because they're all kind of grouped together. But for some animals, it's very, very stressful. And it takes our volunteers to go to that animal, sit with that animal, spend time with that animal, just reaching out to that animal and get them calmed down. And then make them more adaptable. So volunteers are very, very, very important to us, and we could not do this without them.
Joanie, thank you so much. I bet it is a very rewarding experience to volunteer at an animal shelter, at your animal shelter. We want to thank you so much for all the work that you're doing to help people and the pets and our animals. Of course, again, I urge people to volunteer, donate, and foster. This can truly help save a life, and we don't want to try to keep your pets. Again, if you are facing challenges, do not be afraid to reach out. There's a lot of resources. You can go to oakgov.com and check out the community tab. Under the community tab, there's the Oakland County Animal Shelter. There's a lot of resources on there. You can also call them on their number 248-858-1070. Again, it's 248-858-1070. Call them, tell them if you're facing any challenges. Again, as Joanie said, they will help you keep your pet at home and keep your loved furry friend. Joanie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to take a short break on the Splash Live, and we'll be right back with more stories from your community on your community channels, Civic Center TV and 98.3 Lakes FM. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Kieft and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community media outlets. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. We also thank you for joining us today on Civic Center TV's Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, as well as on YouTube at Civic Center TV, and invite you to join us Monday through Friday for our live shows all throughout the week. A really interesting story out of West Bloomfield Township from earlier on this week. Pretty funny story also. The lake season is coming to a close, but one vessel decided it wasn't going out without a fight. I'm calling this guy Stu the Canoe, as it was a canoe that went on its own little joyride out on Cass Lake Road and washed up on the shore of Zox, just out of Cass Lake earlier on this week. The West Bloomfield Police Department wants to know if this is your canoe. If so, they have it nice and safely packed away, far away from any other waterway where it can go rogue again and take another ride of its lifetime. You'll have another chance to pick up your canoe and bring it safely home and, maybe improve the way you had it tied down. Take a look at that, because something happened there on Cass Lake, just in the area of Zox, and this canoe ended up going rogue earlier on this week. Really funny story from the West Bloomfield Township Police Department on their Facebook page. If this is your canoe, civiccentertv.com is where you'll find today's episode, and you'll be able to show this to your friends. If this looks like their canoe, or if it's your canoe, definitely give a call to the West Bloomfield Police Department's non-emergency number at 248-975-9200, 248-975-9200, or send them a message on Facebook, facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. You can also comment on their post at facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD, and it goes into a little more detail also and has some follow-up messages about this. They're looking for it. It could be someone from West Bloomfield. It could also be somebody from Keego Harbor or other communities that are on Cass Lake. Nonetheless, the West Bloomfield Police Department were the ones that ultimately ended up collecting this vessel off of the waterway as it came up on Zox Lakeside Park neighborhood area, which is in West Bloomfield Township. So you will need to call the West Bloomfield Police Department to get information on this canoe and to retrieve your canoe if this is yours. Again, 248-975-9200. And Dayan, one last bit of summer fun for this canoe on its way out.
That is true. I think it's tried to run away before winter and before it freezes its bottom off, if you know what I'm saying. That is truly a very funny story. I guess the owner of the canoe did not take it on enough rides this beautiful summer, and it decided to just take its own ride and just see all these beautiful sceneries in our beautiful county and in our beautiful West Bloomfield. So that is a truly funny story. I hope whoever lost this canoe, take it back, tie it well, do not let it run away again.
Now, Dayan, I know we're still in September, but a week from now, a little over a week from now, we'll be in the month of October. So I have to propose this as a potential culprit for the story. Could it perhaps have been a ghost that took this canoe?
That is a very interesting way to think about it, Tyler. I never thought about
Something
it.
to think about.
Halloween's coming soon.
Something to think about. So maybe the ghost of West Bloomfield past was the culprit in this case.
See, I like this
again,
story
you can
better.
see more and keep up to date on this story at facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. Getting a little bit more on a serious note here. Next week, we have a really special broadcast coming up on Wednesday in partnership with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. A really cool event they do every year, and this time around, we're going to broadcast the whole thing for you. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce has their annual leadership breakfast happening on Wednesday next week. Registration for the event is now closed, but you can still participate and hear all the insight from leaders in the business community in our local area, particularly in the media space. Casey Crane from Crane Communications, as well as Roop Raj from Fox 2 News in Detroit, will be speaking to members of the Chamber of Commerce and other non-members also who are attending this event at Wabi Country Club about leadership, about leveraging the media to better your business and to build partnerships in the local area and throughout the community and expand the reach of your business and your services throughout our local area and beyond. It's going to be a really cool event. We'll talk to some of the individuals behind it at the event next week before they speak at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Wednesday. Around 9 o'clock is when they will begin their speeches. They'll take some Q&A also from the audience at this event, so plenty of insight into growing your business, using media to grow your business in a very media-heavy landscape of the modern business age, and something you'll definitely want to attend virtually by joining us on Civic Center TV, our live broadcast beginning at 8:30, Wednesday, September 27th, a really cool event. Also, a really cool event on Tuesday next week for the kids at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. The West Bloomfield Library partnering with the Detroit Zoo to explore Metro Detroit wildlife, including wildlife that you often see at West Bloomfield Township's library branches, both the main branch on Walnut Lake Road in West Bloomfield, as well as the West Acres branch on Pontiac Trail in West Bloomfield as well. You see many deer out there at the main branch. We see them each and every time we go out there almost. It seems that they're either walking in the woods behind the library, or if it's later on in the day and there's not so many cars coming through the parking lots, they'll just walk right along across it. So you'll learn about them, some of those frogs and those turtles you saw earlier on in pictures today, including this little guy right here. You'll learn a lot more about them with the Detroit Zoo Tuesday, September 26th at 6 p.m. for kids in kindergarten through 5th grade. You can register for this event online, wblib.org. And Dayan, a really great way for people to engage in local wildlife, learn more about the local wildlife while teaching their kids about it as well.
Tyler, I'm 30 years old right now, and the wildlife still ceases to amazes me. It's such a great opportunity for these kids to get out there, get off their phones, get off their computers, and just enjoy the wildlife, learn more about all these wonderful creatures and species we have that are unique to Michigan. So wonderful, wonderful educational program. It is a great way for kids to also engage in environmental activities. Learning more about these animals and these species will definitely interest these kids, make them probably want to take care of their environment a little bit more. And again, it's such an amazing way to get these kids integrated and get them outside, off their phones.
Yeah, WBLIB.org is the place to go to register for this event. It's happening next week, Tuesday, and you can keep up to date with other events that are happening at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, including those learning opportunities for the kids and for the whole family all throughout the year at WBLIB.org. Later on in October at the Oakland County Farmers Market, a chance for you to enjoy art from our local artists through the Art Sale Collective out of Keego Harbor and the Lakes area. That's also going to be happening on a very busy day. We've got the Fire Department Open House on Sunday, October 1st. We've got Jan Hayes' Pumpkin Patch in Sylvan Lake. And then at the Oakland County Farmers Market in Waterford, Art Sale will be presenting some of their art. There's some of the 28 artists that are being featured from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Sunday, October 1st at the Oakland County Farmers Market located at 2350 Pontiac Lake Road in Waterford. Embraced by Wire, which is one of the artists in the Art Sale Collective, said that their last appearance at the farmers market drew more people than any other special event that was there during that season, according to what was communicated to them from the farmers market. So a lot of people in our local area, they love art. They love talking to our local artists, and this is a great way to meet some of those local artists in our area. You can also just search Art Sale, ARTSAIL, like art, and then the sail of a sailboat on Facebook, and you can join the Facebook groups. Hundreds of artists from throughout Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, West Bloomfield, and the Lakes area surrounding have joined in on this group to help share their ideas for art, collaborate with other artists, find information on art shows, and even organize some art shows themselves. So a really great opportunity to get involved and show some support for some of our local artists. Also, you can keep up to date with them in the So Keego Facebook group. They do a lot of posts there about their other places that they're going to be doing shows all throughout the year. And it's a really great opportunity, Diane, for artists to advertise themselves, but also for our community to get to know that, look, you don't have to go to big art galleries, to these big corporate art events in order to see some really great art right in our community. We have a lot of really talented people just in these 4 communities.
That is true, and we will also be supporting these artists, Tyler. It always starts with communities supporting those artists, and that will help them step up the ladder. So it's a great way not only to just enjoy this art or be there with our community members, but we're also supporting people in our community, artists in our community, to, show their art and probably make him famous. Try to take some pictures, post it on your Instagram. Let us show them our appreciation for showing us their great art, for all these wonderful art pieces that they're going to be showing us as well. So a great opportunity for everyone in the community.
Go on our website on civiccentertv.com, go to our on-demand page today. You'll see early on in last night's Keego Harbor City Council meeting, there was a member of the public who had talked during public comment about Art Sale also and talked about this show. So even more information on how you can get involved and what Art Sale is all about on civiccentertv.com. Artful things also happening all throughout our community, and people taking pictures across the greater West Bloomfield area, posting them on Facebook. And when we see those pop up, we got to share them on the show. Here's a picture from Jack Butler. He's an artist himself, a pottery artist we've had on The Splash in years past, back when we were doing the show weekly instead of daily. This is a picture he took earlier on this week of a beautiful sunflower in his yard just above his home in the Lakes area, and posted that on Facebook. A really beautiful picture in the sunshine outside. And then here's Rob Kalman, the mayor of Keego Harbor. He took a selfie out at this dead end near the water in Sylvan Lake, not in Keego Harbor, but in Sylvan Lake, with a quote saying, "If you run and live in Keego Harbor or Sylvan Lake, you know this spot, you know this sign." I'm about to walk into a city council study session. This was back on Tuesday, and I was feeling a bit aggressive this afternoon, so I blew off some steam by running a few miles, and I like to stop here and let the view calm me, praying for a calm meeting. And a very busy meeting it was on Tuesday night for that study session, but a very calm meeting last night nonetheless. And hey, one of the secret spots from the mayor of Keego Harbor in the Lakes area in the Tri-Cities for you to relax, taking a little bit of the lake when you're out for your walk, relax a little bit and enjoy our nature. Diane, if people want to share their pictures from throughout the community, a lot of people taking sunset pictures. They're out on the trails this weekend celebrating Michigan Trails Week. How can they send those pictures to us? And hey, maybe even get a shout out on the air for doing so.
That is true, Tyler. They can send us a direct message on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 is our Facebook username, or on Instagram at Civic Center TV. If you're also taking videos and you want to mention us, you can also mention us on YouTube at Civic Center TV 15. If you don't want to direct message us on Facebook or Instagram, you can also merely just message us. We will reshare it on our social media pages, and we can also share it right here and give you a shout out.
Plenty of more stories from your hometown on your community media outlets all throughout the week, every single week, and we thank you for staying with us right here on The Splash Live.